there seems to be quite a lot of confusion around microsleeps. So I'm going to be talking about these in more detail in today's video. Hi, I'm Martin Reed. If you have insomnia, I offer sleep coaching programs that will give you all the skills and support you need to enjoy better sleep for the rest of your life. You can learn more at insomniacoach.com. So let's start with the definition of microsleep. Generally speaking, microsleeps are these involuntary periods of really short bursts of sleep, normally from like a fraction of a second to up to say 30 seconds or so. Most of the time we're not actually aware of these microsleeps. We will only really tend to notice them if our head jerks as we're about to sleep, drift off to sleep, and then we're suddenly jerked back awake. Or if we're hanging out with friends or a partner or family and they tell us, oh, we just saw you fall asleep, wake up, you fell asleep. If these microsleeps are occurring during the day, this is typically not a symptom associated with insomnia. Insomnia is normally more of a feeling of daytime fatigue and tiredness rather than excessive sleepiness during the day. So if you're regularly feeling really sleepy and experiencing microsleeps during the day, this suggests there may be something at play other than insomnia. So here's the good news about microsleeps. If you have chronic insomnia, microsleeps are evidence that you are getting sleepy. And this proves that your sleep system is working, that your sleep system is not broken. Now, if you're going through a course of cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, CBT-I, the chances are you are allotting a shorter amount of time for sleep. And this often involves going to bed much later than you may have previously been accustomed to. Over time, as your sleepiness builds, especially in the first few weeks of CBT-I, you're quite likely to experience these microsleeps in the evening as your sleep window approaches. Now, by themselves, microsleeps aren't too much of a problem, but if you're just having like one or two microsleeps, they're probably not going to impact your sleep drive and make it harder for you to fall asleep at night. But as I've just described, sometimes it's hard to recognize when microsleeps occur, especially if there's no one around you to tell you when they're happening. And so as a result, you may be experiencing many microsleeps in the hours approaching your sleep window. And when you add all these together, that can have an impact on your sleep drive and make it harder for you to fall asleep at night. So what I suggest doing is, if you are only having like one or two microsleeps, it's probably not really a big problem. If you're experiencing microsleeps within, say, around half an hour of the start of your sleep window, I would normally suggest just using that as your cue to go to bed. Because most people going through a course of CBT-I will be implementing some kind of buffer zone in that period anyway. So you're already close to bedtime. The goal of the buffer zone is to help you relax and recognize the cues for sleepiness, and microsleep is an excellent cue for sleepiness. So when you notice them occur or you're told they're occurring, and it's within a roughly half an hour of the start of your sleep window, that's your cue to go off to bed. If they occur earlier in the evening, and they occur quite frequently, then it's really important that you try to address them to avoid these microsleeps, because lots and lots of them will make it harder for you to fall asleep due to the reduced sleep drive. So it's usually good to see if you can come up with a connection between what you're doing and when these microsleeps occur. So for example, if they tend to occur really early in the evening when you're sitting on the couch watching TV, maybe you can think of a different activity to do around that time. Another thing you can bear in mind is if these microsleeps tend to occur frequently earlier in the evening, it may be worth investigating whether it's worth shifting your sleep window, advancing your sleep window so it starts and ends a little bit earlier. You may be the type of person that's a morning lark chronotype, which just means that you have a natural inclination to go to bed earlier and wake earlier. If that's the case, it's really not constructive to fight against that. If they are a real problem for you, a really short, like 20-minute nap early in the afternoon can sometimes help relieve these microsleeps. And as long as you limit the nap to around 20 minutes and you take it early in the day, then it shouldn't have too much effect on your accumulated sleep drive. Another thing that you could try if these microsleeps are a real problem and you are really struggling to stay awake in the early evening is bright light therapy with a light box. Now, there can be some difficulties doing this because you generally have to be quite specific in terms of the timing, and you definitely don't want to be exposing yourself to light at a time that's then going to make it harder for you to fall asleep. But as a guideline, if you want to experiment with this, you could try bright light therapy with a light box for around half an hour, around about 4 hours before the start of your sleep window. That could just be enough just to delay your body clock just a little bit longer and help you avoid these microsleeps. So I hope you found this short video helpful. If you did, please click the like button and subscribe to the channel. I try to share a short sleep snippet video every weekday. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions for a future video, please leave a comment below, or you can email me directly. My email address is hello@insomniacoach.com. I hope to see you back here again soon, and remember, you can sleep.